Hey y'all, I'm only doing the videos like this because while the memories, rather I don't want to think about this stuff, they're fresh in my mind and God is bringing everything back to me. And I would rather for it to be like this so that you can get it in the parts that you need to get into. No, it's not perfect videos, but I mean, it's going to be given the way that God sees fit. And I just, like I said, it's about blessing somebody. So in the last video, we talked about me going to the program and understanding what the program was really for. And just about how God was utilizing that time at Joanne Bridges to bring me to a healing point that I did not know that that's what God was doing. Um, so moving forward, I get out of the program and I am at this 2-bedroom apartment where Bianca, my sister, she had moved out. She was not living there. She actually she was actually with her boyfriend Johnny at the time. So my sister Carla had moved back in with my dad, so it was them two. In this 2-bedroom apartment upstairs. So I get out. My dad has to get me back into school. I'm in 10th grade at this point because I finished 9th grade when I was in Joanne Bridges Academy. You still go to school in there. You have to do what they tell you to do, child. It was terrible. Waking up at 6 o'clock, I was like, dang. It wasn't a vacation. You still had to do certain stuff. So I thought it was over. I did. I began to go back to living my life. But I was damaged. I had lost a lot of trust. People lost trust. I lost trust because I was doing harm to people who didn't deserve it. It was terrible. And these people, they couldn't trust me again. Every good thing that God was putting in my path to put me in a better situation, I was ruining it. I was ruining it because I was unhealed. I didn't wisen up to what God was doing. Excuse me. I didn't have a relationship with God. And I didn't care to. I just wanted a man. I just wanted somebody to love me. So yet again, I got into a relationship with one of my best friend's brothers. And his parents was churchgoers, so I would always be able to see him. And we communicated a little bit. And he was sweet. He was good to me. But moving on, I thought I could have a relationship with him. I was giving my dad another opportunity, even though I had not healed. So I ended up being honest with him and telling him that I had a boyfriend and that there was so much that I needed to do. I wanted to, start going on the little dates and doing that. And I feel like I had already paid my price for losing my virginity. I feel like I had already paid my price. So now what I want to do in the 10th grade, I should just be able to do it with no strings attached. So one day after I got back from church, I remember having this store. I had to talk with him at a store. And don't know. I felt like we was cool, but it was a flaw. It was fake. I went and home, and I think I took a nap on the couch. When I woke up, he was there. And he had sat down and wrote down a list of stuff. And I was thinking this list is the stuff that he's gonna start doing for me, and or that I need to do. This list was to have money, to have a phone, to get out with friends, to have fun, to have a boyfriend. He basically told me if I continue to have sex with him, then he would make sure I have all those things. And I said no. I said no. And from that point on, those days and weeks, he started acting weird and nasty to me. He fed me, but he acted very nasty towards me. I started staying out again. I started doing wrong again. It set me back. And so seeing this now, I really wasn't delivered, but I was on the pathway of deliverance. I went and I told my godmother because she was part of helping me stay on track. So I told her everything. And she says, well, that disgusts me and that hurt me. And I was told he was doing it to another one of your sisters. And lo and behold, that was true. We grew up in a very dysfunctional household. And I didn't believe at first when my sister came to me. One of my sisters came and said that I just saw Bianca come out the room with Daddy and she was wiping white stuff off of her leg. My daddy was lost. And even though he kept us in church almost every single Sunday and every event that was going on at the church, he was a no bit saved than the man in the moon. He was hurting from a divorce. And he wasn't delivered or had not healed from his past with what his stepfather used to do. Mind you, not his real father. His real father was a very, very sweet and common man. And he had money, and he lived in Atlanta, Georgia. I think we visited him maybe once or twice. They, like my dad's dad, real dad's side of the family, they're like entrepreneurs, but his stepdad was nasty. His stepdad died of a very, very bad disease. Like his body started shutting down. He could barely talk. He was, that's how he was talking before he passed away. And he was very nasty from the time he was with my grandmother up until the time that he got sick and died. And his nickname was Bucky. Now, I'm not going to get into all of that because I don't know the very much details. So moving along, after I had told him no, he started treating me, messed up. And then I told my godmother, Cassandra. And then like after that, she said, I'm got to talk to my dad about this, because her dad was the pastor of the church. And she said, because this ain't right. And that's Sunday. She said, my dad's going to meet with you and Brother Carl. He's going to meet with you guys. And so he met with us, and he said, sat us in his office, and he at the church, and he said, Brother Carl's come to my attention that some things have been said, that I've gotten confirmation, or understanding that you have been doing some things to her, and you've been touching her, and I can't tell you if you did it or not, but if you did, that God's going to deal with you. And I'm here to for y'all to tell y'all parts. And he said he didn't do it. He said, I never touched my daughter. And I said, he's lying. He's been touching me, and it's been going on for a long time. He has manipulated me into touching me. And I didn't think that Pastor Johnson didn't, God rest his soul, because he has passed away. It's not that I didn't feel like he believed me. I think it is that he was giving my father an opportunity to be honest and step into forgiveness. And the more he said that he did not, Pastor kept saying, but she said that you did. But it didn't rest my story. Nothing happened from there. But after that, some conversation that happened with, because it got out that, obviously he was telling other people that, oh, she's doing this and she back at it again. And so my aunt had begun to tell, him is that, she misses her mom, Carl, and she hasn't seen her mom in so long. And I think that will help her, and it'll be better for her if she goes to live with her mother. And I think that this would be good for her. And so my aunt said that I'm going down to Taveri so I can drop her off to her mom. I'll contact Darlene and I'll let her know, or you contact Darlene and let him know that it's time for her to come down there and be with her father, or be with her mother, be with her mother. And so my mom didn't really want to, because my mom was in a homeless situation. She had a place to stay, but it wasn't idle, and she didn't want to bring me into that. But lo and behold, I was happy because I was getting away from my dad. And ever since I left Milton, I only visited Milton once. Yeah, once. And that was in 2022. This all happened in 2009 and 10. And it's 2022 when I went down there. And that was for my grandmother's funeral. My dad's mom passed. I had literally started the healing process with my father in 20 at the very end of 2019. Some parts of 2019 I started, doing that. He seemed more of a father. He had apologized to me back in 2012. At the beginning of that year, I was pregnant with my daughter. And it was like literally months before I had her. He had called me up, and I was living with a girl named Tequila. And he had called me up and said, I want to just apologize for every and anything that I've done wrong to you that hurt you. And after that, we didn't talk. We didn't really talk at all. So I didn't start back talking to my dad until I had really needed him when I went to jail, because I was fighting in my relationships, and they yet again in the wrong relationship, and it caused me to go to jail. This is almost 10, about to be 11 years ago, but I went to jail because I couldn't control my anger. Y'all, I know that this story and what I have been through, it really damaged me. It really hurt me. It really made me make some decisions that I'm going to talk about in another video. But it really made me make some decisions. And whether I knew it or not, that and what was going on with my father, it didn't all have anything to do with me. There were times I knew that my father was looking at me in a weird way before I had to lay down, and all the whole point of trying to see if I'm a virgin and reading the Bible to me and making me take my clothes off in the process. You get what I'm saying? And he done that twice. But before all of that, everything that I went through, he put me through a lot. And it made me make some bad decisions. But everything that I've done, everything that I went through, it was at a later date going to glorify God. Because whatever God's going to do with this story, whatever God's going to do with these videos, I don't know. But I'm putting it out the best way I know how to. This is coming from my true life. This is not something made up. This is not something I thought about in my head, because that's sick for somebody to get on here and do some stuff like that, because it is some people that get on there that be lying. I ain't even went through half of the stuff they talking about. Or they making it more than what it is. But this is the truth. A sad and horrific truth, but this was the truth. There was nothing in me that imagined that I would ever have to deal with that. The person that brought me into this world, obviously God did, but he used my parents. And my life sucked for a long time because of it. I had forgiven him in the years of 2019 and 2020, but I actually healed in 2022. And I healed the moment that I was able to tell my father my car was breaking down. My little my little Versa, Nissan Versa was broken down. It wasn't doing what it needed to do. It was breaking down. I was like, oh my God, it's my transmission. And I think he told me something, and I got frustrated, and it kind of came out. I was like, he was like, I was like, but I feel like ain't nobody there for me, ain't nobody helping me. He was like, I'm here for, you have not always been here for me like you're supposed to be. He said, I have, you have not. And I don't know what in your mind thinks that you have been there for me the way that you were supposed to be there for me, because you weren't. You hurt me, you damaged me mentally, you caused me to go trampling out there into the world like some little whore. You caused me to not be able to love people. You brought grudge and unforgiveness to me that I didn't even ask for. I didn't sin for it, but it came from me. And now I'm here, because now I'm in a place of forgiveness. And do you want to know why I stand out in all of this? I now talk to my Father like he's done none of it. I prophesy to him. I minister to him. I give him dreams that God gives me. I allow him to tell me everything that's frustrating him, whatever kind of day he's having. He picks up this phone and he calls me at any time of the day, any time of the night, and we talk like that. That's never happened. But that's when you know that you have forgiven someone, because there are some people who have went through this and they still don't. They've forgiven them and they have healed, but they are not comfortable. And I got to be honest with you. I'm not comfortable when my dad says he's coming to visit me all the time, or he says, I want to spend time. I'm not comfortable, because in my mind, the man who told me at one point that God showed him I was his wife, I was his woman, there's no way I can be comfortable, because everywhere we go, I feel like you're going to be thinking we're in a relationship. I still feel that. I'm not damaged anymore, because I know how to say no. And I know who my God is. And I know that you can't write me no list now and tell me, I'll pay your bills, I'll take care of your kids, I'll buy you a car, I'll help you get into another apartment or another house, I'll help you do this. You can have a husband because you got to lay down with me. No, if I get a husband now, it's because God gave it to me. It's my time. If I get a new job, it's my time. If I move into another house, another apartment, it's my time. It comes from God. My help comes from God. No, I didn't know that when I was a little girl, when I was a teenager. But God turned my life around. I may not be where I want to be at, and this is for somebody. I may not be where I'm supposed to be, but God has brought me through so much, because somebody else would have murdered, killed, suicide. They would have lost their self. But I'm still here. The devil wanted to destroy my father, to destroy me, and to destroy my seeds, my 2 kids. And they don't deserve to be destroyed. Remember when I told y'all, every time somebody tried to help me, I pushed them away, and I did wrong. I always did the wrong thing because I didn't know what good was. I didn't know how to be of good. Because I was hurting. I had died mentally, spiritually, financially, and physically. Sleeping in trucks and cars and on the highway, catching buses, going to sleep with men. I could have gotten AIDS. I could have gotten pregnant at that time. I could have been dead. I could have been sleeping in my grave. But God brought me out. He saved me. And I have to remember this every time I want to complain about something that I feel like God should be doing. I have to raise my praise, because God brought me through so much. And don't nobody really understand what this feels like unless you really done went through something similar to this. But this was a lot on me. And I didn't think I was coming out, baby. I didn't think that I would see my mama until I became an adult. It took all of that to happen to me. Me going to a program, me being in touch. My father just trying to really take everything in me, all the hope I had in me, the prayer. I was innocent. But when I started making decisions to do wrong and hurt other people, I wasn't innocent. I used the very thing that hurt me to hurt other people. My body, my words, my actions. And it caused me to go to programs. It caused me to have kids, to get pregnant and lose babies. And it caused me to get into a marriage, which is another testimony that I'll be giving you guys in the next day or so coming. Because I know that this is going to help somebody. I don't know who, because I don't know everybody, but it's going to help somebody. It's going to, even though you may feel like those moments didn't work out for you, God did not hate you. He uses everything for a purpose and for a reason. Because God, just like he created light, he created darkness too. But darkness may feel dark and horrific and terrible and nasty and disgusting. It may make you throw up in your mouth. But there's always light at the end of the tunnel. I didn't think there was no light for me. I didn't. But I survived. I survived. And not only did I survive, I got saved. And when I wrote my book, God reminded me that all of the things that I've been through in my life was indeed, in fact, a process. It wasn't fun for me. It's not fun right now that I have to discuss it with you, but I know it's going to help somebody. And it's like, I feel freedom for somebody else, because I got my freedom when God healed me and he molded me. Because there's no way I could talk to my dad. But one thing about me, I have a very forgiving heart. I don't know why God made me like this. I forgive. Even when I know that it has hurt me to the core, I forgive. I just pray that these videos bless somebody. The right people get a hold of this. And even if there are some naysayers and some haters and some nosy people, be nosy and pass the video along to somebody that's going to be able to take this in and get the help that they need. Do that. Because no matter how much you try to curse me or bring me down, God's going to use these messages and bring it to the forefront to the people. This is not to embarrass my father. This is not to throw him under the bus. This is not to make him say he's a bad person. He's not a bad person. He just made bad decisions based off of things that came from his past. And a long line of other things. That's what you call generational curses. When somebody's not breaking them, but God chose me to break it. And guess what? I get to reap the harvest. I get to reap the blessings behind it. Whoever this is for, this is not all your fault. It started from somewhere. But God is the ultimate finisher. He's the author. He's the finisher of every story in your life, your whole story. Nothing is wasted. Not pain, not what you went through, not what you're going through right now. If you are dealing with this and this has hurt you in some kind of way in your very own experience, then I pray that this blessing, this word will bless you. Because I healed. When I started seeing how I was going to jail and how I couldn't love my daughter initially, because my kids have almost 10 years apart, how I couldn't love them and how I didn't know how to communicate. Baby, God was showing me all along he was working on me. And now I see why he named this channel what it is, God's product. We are all God's products, made up of so many things of him, the bad, the good, the ugly. And I'm not saying that God is bad or good or, not bad or ugly, but he uses all of the ugly, the bad in our life to make something so beautiful. That's the thing. He'll trade our ashes in for our beauty. And when you heal that situation, even thinking about it, it may make you relive it, but it won't break you down the way it did then. And you may even go back to your abuser, your accuser, your raper, whoever, the person that raped you, the person that touched you, the person that abused you, whether it was mentally, physically, or verbally. No matter what anybody did to you, you will not see them the way that you saw them then. You'll never forget what you went through, because I'll never forget it. But I don't have to walk like that no more. I don't have to blame God anymore. I don't have to blame myself. I don't even have to blame the other person. Because I'm not a victim, baby. I'm a victor. I have victory. That person, my father, the people that hurt me, they cannot hurt me. They cannot manipulate me, because I serve a God who has changed my heart, who has changed my mindset. Yeah, I had to heal. It was ugly. But God broke me gracefully. And I'm not perfect today. I still make mistakes. But I don't have to blame my past for it. If I make a mistake today, I just repent and get up and go about my business and try not to ever do that again and mean it from the bottom of my heart. But it was selfish of me to keep my story to myself. He didn't take me through that for no reason, or, to hide it. He took me through that because God saw fit to help other people that either I would come into contact with or will come into contact with these videos. God was real. I didn't think he was real then, but as I grew up and I understood the situation a lot more clearer, I could see. And I got a relationship with God. God was always with me. He didn't allow it to kill me. He didn't allow it to take me out. And at moments where I thought I was going to lose my mind, y'all, I did not lose my mind. And what I was feeling, and it was for a moment. And God was good enough to send people in my pathway to help me to heal. I didn't want to go to no jail. I done been to jail a couple of times. I can blame that person for manipulating me into a fight. But the reality is, I just didn't heal. Because if I had healed and took time to really have a relationship with God, guess what? Guess what? I would have never went that far in that fight. And I would have gotten, but everything that happens for a reason. So I pray that my testimony reaches whoever and whomever God wants it to reach. I pray that it blesses you. This is coming from my heart. This is coming from, obviously, a long overdue conversation with the world. Because I don't have time to go to every state and every country and every city and talk. Unless now God may do that. That's possible. But this is the start of it. My book invited it and opened the door. But I'm so glad to have had my coaching call with Christina, and just, both for Christ. She's been, she doesn't, I don't know if she feels this way, but I feel like she's been a part of my life, even though we've never met in person, or except until last night. But that her community has blessed me to change in a lot of things, a lot about my life that just wasn't right. And I just pray that this definitely blesses you all. I really, really do. Sorry, I had to pause. Like I said, I have my kids here. I know this is not how I wanted to do. I always imagine telling my story being on, like, in some little dark room, and you know what I'm saying, spaced off. But this is the way I'm telling it, and this is what it is. And I just hope that this blesses you all. And I pray it sets you free. Or it begins the journey of your forgiveness and healing process for whatever it is that you've been through. There are some people who are 60 and 70 years old that may reach this video when the time is right. And they may see that, hey, I haven't forgiven my abuser, the person that raped me, the person that stole my joy, the person that did it to me, my father, my mother, my grandfather, my uncle. You know, it was incest all in my family. It didn't trickle down from just my dad. My uncle even tried it. And I was so messed up that I probably would have went along with it. And that's crazy. So again, I pray that this video has blessed whomever it can. My story is one that's just disgusting, but you see so much of this going around. The people that are supposed to protect us are the very ones that hurt us. But remember, God is your everything. He's your protector. He's your provider. Know where your help comes from, and you'll be just fine. And losing people and telling people no, it'll be very easy for you. Because when I said no to my father that very last time, it felt like a new beginning. I feel like I didn't have to do that. Because those things come. I should have a phone to be able to communicate. I should be able to hang out with my friends. Maybe not date, but manipulation. Don't fall at the hands of manipulation. Even if you're going through a toxic relationship, anything, don't fall into a place of manipulation. Don't let it. Be strong and courageous and know where your help comes from and know who your God is. Get a relationship with him. He's good. It's not about what he can do, you know, financially and all of the other stuff for us, like, you know, but what he can do for you inside will help you in so many ways than a car, money, and a new house can at any time. But I love you guys, and I just pray that this has blessed you. This video is already almost 40 minutes long. I didn't plan on this last video being that long. But Holy Spirit, move and do what you do. All right, I love y'all. I pray this has blessed y'all, and it will bless many more people. If you know somebody, share this. Share this. I didn't say subscribe, but I did say share this story. So, you guys have a great day. Love you. Bye-bye.